I hope this clears some things up. But let me be the first to tell you, no one at Longhorn Lester's, from Suits to Boots, I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, or the JL Ranch has tested positive for BVD. No one. One more. Hey y'all, happy Sunday. There's a lot going on here at the JL Ranch, and yet not a lot as well. We have to have a serious talk. It's time to like dive deep into this because there's a lot of chatter about it, and I just want to clear the air and give as much information that I have to date. We are in the thick of the 2025 birthing season here with Longhorns, and we are 6 births into a total of 13. That's almost halfway. However, we've had some circumstances that have us a little bit on alert because we are experiencing more challenges than we have in the past. Now, to be fair, we're also having a higher volume than we have had in the past. This is our biggest birthing season to date. And we're also having more first-time moms give birth than ever before as well. It's a growth, and growth is a good problem to have, but it always comes with challenges, learning opportunities, and here we're going to talk a little bit about those opportunities and some of the circumstances that are surrounding them. Some of this conversation is hard to have, some of it's hard to hear, and you may not want to participate in it, and that's okay. But I want to clear the air, and I want to tell you the facts that I know, some things that I haven't shared before, and really dive into it. So this isn't really like a fuzzy, cuddly animal video, but it is really important if you're interested. So far, we've had 6 births. 3 births were to first-time moms. And those 3 first-time moms all had complications. Now, it is the first time that we have bred Waylon, our newer herd bull, to first-time moms as well. And what we're seeing is that his calves are very large. What we've learned is that many ranchers and breeders will find a bull that produces small calves to breed with their first-time mom, so that is an easier transition. I'm a woman. I had a large baby, and I had to have a vacuum delivery 22 years ago, not recently. And I'm not comparing myself to cows. I promise you that. And I'm not comparing OBGYNs to ranchers or anything like that. But, I don't think that any woman's hopes and dreams are, I hope I have a 10-pound baby. Or in the calf world, the cow world, I hope I have a 80-pound baby. I don't dream that way. I don't think many people do. So that is a circumstance that has unfortunately led us down a path of some difficulties this year. And we didn't know. In those difficulties, we've had a miscarriage or an abortion. We have had 2 dystocia births, and one of those dystocia births led to a calf death. That calf death actually happened at Texas A&M University. We tried to get that baby there and get it help, and unfortunately, we weren't able to save it. However, we had a necropsy performed, and a necropsy is like an autopsy. Essentially, we did so to hopefully get some answers. So I want to read that necropsy to you today verbatim because it's incredibly important as we search and rule out things in our process here to ensure that our herd is healthy and that what we're doing is on the right path. So let me read that to you. Bear with me here, okay? We're gonna get a little technical and I'll try to explain it as I read it. This is veterinarian speak. This is not translated to normal terms. The lung changes are consistent with aspiration pneumonia, most likely secondary to fetal distress during parturition. That means that as the baby was coming out, the baby aspirated or took in fluids into its lungs, and it caused the baby to have pneumonia. Step 1. The mild inflammation in the umbilicus, heart, liver, and thymus is suggestive of sepsis. That means all of those organs that I mentioned and parts of the body that I mentioned are likely held sepsis because they were inflamed. The right eye has mild chronic anterior uveitis with an unclear cause. If you remember in Duke of Dumfries, he had one cloudy eye, which is a sign of infection and happens in very traumatic births. And they're calling it out here that they're unclear as to what caused that. Bovine viral diarrhea virus is a potential cause for fetal, ocular, and brain abnormalities. So they're saying here, like, when they saw the eye had problems, they thought immediately it was bovine viral diarrhea. However, the BVD virus IHC is negative. So that means that the test that they performed on Duke of Dumfries was negative for BVD. This excludes a persistent infection. So we know that Duke of Dumfries died from aspiration pneumonia and sepsis. And the necropsy confirmed that he tested negative for BVD. Those are, I hate to say this, positive things. However, because of the circumstance of this baby and the baby that is out in the barn and a bottle baby now and her traumatic birth and Ruby's miscarriage, abortion, it's listed differently in the bovine world. We still want to rule out any other disease that can be tested for within our herd that would potentially be causing this. Our vet and the vets at A&M recommended that we test the moms that gave birth to those dystocia babies, in addition to any cow, I think they're any bovine that has been brought into the herd since our last birthing season. So as we looked around, the only cow, bovine, I'm not the Longhorn Ranger here, okay? Any bovine that has been brought into our herd, the only one who has been brought here in the last year is our beloved Chucky Poo steer. Now, I gotta walk a little bit. I gotta stand up. I've been sitting so long, I feel like I'm at work. So, BVD, bovine viral diarrhea, is a virus, as it says in its name. And there are two circumstances around it. There's an acute form and a chronic. The chronic is called persistently infected, meaning that an animal has it and continually sheds the virus, meaning that it is sharing the wealth of the virus potentially without ever even having symptoms. Now, as we look out at our herd, no one is symptomatic of BVD. No one. And that would only allude to, if someone has it, that it would be someone who is persistently infected. And the only way to know for sure would be to test them. And while Lester and I are confident that it's not going to come back positive, we still want to know. So this Thursday, our vet will be here to test for that BVD, bovine viral diarrhea, in the two moms who had dystocia births and Chuck. We may elect to have Ruby, the first mom who aborted, tested as well. And that will give us what we need to know. If they test negative for BVD, it goes back to our theory of we have a really large bull who wasn't suited to be partnered with first-time moms. If it is positive by chance, then that leads us to a whole other circumstance to think through. More testing amongst the animals, potentially separation, so many things. But Chuck was brought here from Pennsylvania. He was tested before he came, and he had no interaction with any other bovine on the way here. So highly unlikely that he is a carrier or persistently infected. Also highly unlikely that Charlene, Ruby, or Danny have it because they were born here. And because they've had no other interaction that we are aware of. Before I go any further, I know what you're saying. Jamie, what about the cows next door? Pause. Just pause. We know that Tex has gotten out over there in addition to Jenny Lane, and that there has been interaction. However, if the moms who gave birth to those babies test negative, and that was our original reason to look for this, then we know that we do not have BVD within our herd. And while I'm talking about what's responsible, Lester had a really big moment coming up with the sale of 2 of our bulls. And to be responsible, we have made the decision to postpone that pending test results. It's unfortunate, and it was something that we were both excited about. However, the right thing to do is to be sure, and that's what we're gonna do. So, it's normal to go through this. It's responsible to go through this. And the way that vets sometimes practice medicine and human physicians practice medicine is sometimes you can't find an accurate diagnosis without ruling out other things first. In fact, in the practice of human medicine, in a lot of documentation and support for the way that we order tests, or the way that things are justified, is we want to do this test to rule out this. So we are testing to rule out BVD in our Longhorn herd. There's a lot going around right now of people are like, you have BVD, you have all these things, and like everybody wants to point to something. Everybody wants an answer, and they want a definitive answer. We would love a definitive answer too. We think we know what it is, and we are hoping for exactly that to be the answer, because obviously we can prevent that from happening again with a very simple solution of that bull can't be partnered with first-time moms ever again, and then we can move on from this. But nonetheless, this is part of animal ownership. It's part of ranching. Again, I'm not the rancher here. I'm being a translator. We'll just call it that. So just wanted to say what it is, why we're looking for it, and where we would go next. Either way. I hope this clears some things up, but let me be the first to tell you, no one at Longhorn Lester's, from Suits to Boots, I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, or the JL Ranch has tested positive for BVD. No one. We're being responsible. We're doing what's best for our herd, and we'll keep you posted on every single step of the way. Thursday is testing day. It will take a few days to get those results back, and we'll tell you as soon as we know. But for now, we're gonna watch all of our moms. We're gonna take good care of every baby that comes out, and we're gonna keep on ranching. That's what we're gonna do. I love you all so much. I hope this clears things up, and I will catch you on the next video.